Guys, this is Naman again, and in this video, I'll be sharing a trade that I recently took in Paytm, and I was able to capture 10% move in matter of just 2 days. So my entry in the stock was around 747, and my exit was around 815. So that's almost 10%. So the rationale behind buying the stock was pretty simple. As you can see, the stock in March last year had a gap down of 12%, and whenever a stock has a gap down, that gap down usually creates resistance for the right side of the charts. So the same thing happened here also. The gap down price that was around 745, 746 uh, was acting as a resistance for the stock, and the stock was reversing every time it touched that price. So if you see here also, the stock had a gap down, and that gap down again created resistance in the stock. Yeah. So see, yeah. So this is how the gap down acts as a resistance. If I have to show you in another stock, it happened uh, in Alok industry as well. Yeah, here also you can see there was a gap down of 4%, and that gap down price was acting as a resistance for Alok industry, as we have discussed this already in another video. So yeah, gap down usually creates a resistance for the right side of the chart. So in Paytm also, that gap down of 13% around 750 levels was creating resistance, and the price was reversing every time it touched that level. And it happened again in last month. But what was different this time was, after, rather than reversing, uh, after touching that gap down price of 745, 750, the stock before corrected, or I mean reversed from that level. But what was different this time in May was, it didn't correct. It started getting sideways around that price, or started consolidating near that price. It had that little base that the stock made near that price 750, and that was my reason to look into the stock. And another reason, what really made me look into the stock, was the stock from last November was making series of higher lows, which is a sign of bullishness in a stock. So if you see, no lower lows were broken by the next lows, so it was a series of higher lows. So that was also a sign that the stock was in strength, and bulls were dominating the stock from quite a few times from last 7 8 months. So uh, my buy was around 745, when there was also gap up near that gap down price, or gap down resistance. And I made my position here on 8th of June, and around 747, and I sold it the next day when my targets were achieved. So my targets, how I came with the target, was pretty simple. So after this base, the next resistance that the next major resistance that the stock had was around 18, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that was the next base, or the next resistance I was hoping the stock would take. But after my selling also, I sold the stock around 816, 817, and it the next day stock was uh, sideways. It didn't correct much, but after that the stock uh, moved around 13 to 14%. Yeah, but my targets were met the second day after I bought it. So that doesn't really stress me if the stock moves upside after my selling. So yeah, that is how I was able to make 10% in Paytm in a matter of just 2 days, by buying a resistance that was created near gap down and selling at next resistance. So yes, that is it from my side, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video.